Ah, balance yourself up. Oh my fucking god. Okay, there we go. That works. Fuck it. That works. Fuck it. Roll for the kill. Bada bing and bada boom. Talk of the badly needed energy drink MC. Little groggy and shit. Ugh. Yeah, it sounds like you just need a little hair of the dog there, bud. Ugh. They kind of called it. Dude, it was like sleet, rain, ice bullshit earlier, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not going out and about. Guess I'm staying inside. Fuck that shit. I did go out for a little bit, but because of that, I was like, I'm not gonna like get like wet and moist like that, so fuck that shit. I'm going inside now. And of course, now it's starting to like kind of lightly snow, so but the commute home for me will be ass in the morning. Yep, hopefully not. I looked up the weather and it says it should just be lightly snowing. I'm sure it's different in your area, but in my area it should be like lightly snowing. So probably, hopefully, whatever like sleet, icy bullshit there is, you don't have to worry about too much. Hopefully. Because that would suck if you end up having to like have a fuckload of, you know, bullshit ice and all that crap everywhere. That would suck. If this is going to be iced over. Well, yeah. I mean, if the snow is able to like kind of come down enough, you know, like then maybe you should be able to get lucky, but it's still gonna suck. Snow, ice layer, and then more snow usually is not the greatest combination. Go. There we go. Sweet. I also did find a nice, you know, little pair of gloves too. They're not, you know, mine. They're not ones I've had before, but they fit me. So I was just like, yes. So I was pretty happy about that. It was at least, you know, lucky for that because earlier today my hands were like, whew, cold as hell when I went out for a little bit. Did try to follow up with the place I wanted to go check out, but they were closed, and I figured they were going to be. So I called up, you know, shortly after I did my stream earlier, and yeah, shocker, not open because of the weather. So I was like, well, I'm not worried about that. Frankly, don't blame them if they, you know, close up, you know, for the day just because of the weather. So hopefully, depending on what things look like tomorrow, I might go walk over there just for the fuck of it, see, you know, if anyone's over there, and if so, maybe just like pop in. But if not, then just wait until the weather clears out, which sucks, but whatever. I mean, not like corporate, like, you know, say for some shit where it's like no matter what, they're going to stay open. You know, like those smaller businesses, you know, if they need to, they will just say fuck it and close it. So, which honestly, you know, would be a good thing anyway, because, like, I mean, what business would you get when everything's all frozen over anyway? It's so cool. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Where'd that come from? Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Ooh. But the guy got me a pretty nice hand there. Good lord. I also can't tell if Zukov loves being outside or inside. Because, like, at least, for today, he was all prancing around and everything, wandering everywhere, but whenever I open door, get close to the door, he would just bolt right the fuck back inside. So I can't tell if he actually likes being outside or if it's just so cold he just has to be like, run around everywhere. It's cold on my little feet. On my little pop pants. Cool. Also gave him a little late night walk too, and now it's just kind of grooming all the wetness off of him. Mostly the snow that kind of like landed and melted on top of his fur. Not gonna lie, it does kind of have this cute little look on him when he has like this little like speckle of snow on him, but I'm pretty sure he does not like it. It's like, this is wetness, but it's also cold. Fuck this. Good little bean. I wonder if Rip's still in here, because I wonder if you guys saw the like Oval Office like press conference thing that Trump did or whatever, because I saw some snippets of it, and like at least like the snippets I saw were literally just basically like him talking about like, oh, we're gonna like make some deals with like Xi and Putin, if it wasn't for Biden, then they would, like we would have peace. I'm pretty sure Putin wants peace. I trust him enough to say that he would give us peace and shit like that. It's like, I don't even know where the like fuck outside of just like fawning over other authoritarian piece of shit where it comes from. Because like, I could kind of maybe understand being like, I'm gonna try to force him to the table, so we could probably get a peace deal or some shit. But it's not even like that. It's more or less just like, yeah, we're gonna like try to work out something. What that is, I'm not saying. He doesn't like say what it is, which is also kind of a little fucking eerie, honestly, because of this whole like sense of like, oh, we're gonna be able to like rebuild friendships like never before, while burning down bridges left and right when it comes to a lot of our former allies and concurrent ones and shit. It's just, it just seems like literally like, just kind of like burning the diplomacy down to the ground. But, like, I wonder if, like, even with, the faults and the problems of, like, Xi and Putin, like, if they would even trust him, when it comes to whatever deals, that would be made. Besides, even if there were to be, which I doubt there would be, like, it would just straight up be like some, temporary bullshit anyway. Like straight up, like, once, Trump's terms ends, and especially if it's like a, Democratic administration, there ain't no way that, like, those deals are going to, stick around. Unless it's like maybe like a trade deal with like China or something, because, I mean, we've been having like, trade relations with them at least since George W. Probably at least sooner than that, but at least since W. Bush. Honestly, I won't be too surprised if it's something like that. like lifting sanctions and having like a new trade deal with Russia and China or some shit. Well, funny enough, at least having like tariffs towards China too, which is kind of ironic. Yeah, we'll have like a trade deal with you and stuff like that, but we're also gonna like tariff the fuck out of you a little bit. Just cause, you know, we're making baby. Sleepy Doge. Ugh. I would say you could be on my lap, and I know how you are about shit. I know how he is about things. It would not be a good idea. As much as I would want him to. Because usually he'll like chill out and be cool about it. But I gotta remember, it's not my bed. It's over here. It's way easier to have him on my lap when he's on my bed, because then he can just kind of squirm around the whirl around wherever he wants and not cause problems. You know, I just like remembered like this like this moment, well, not even really a moment, but just like this weird thing when Trump and Elon did like, you know, some sort of a White House press conference, you know, a couple days ago. I noticed something that was just really weird that just seems so beyond out of place, outside of Musk being there, but like just something else besides that. And it's that I'm pretty sure Elon Musk brought one of his fucking kids there. I don't know if anyone's seen like at least some clips of it, but if not, like go look at it. It's like you'll notice that Elon has like a kid with him. Probably just one of his kids, but it's just so weird. It's like, why in the fuck is there just some random ass kid just there? And the kid doesn't even look like he wants to be there. He's just kind of like standing around, looking around everywhere, just kind of like oogling like the cameras and shit like that. Like, oh. But if it wasn't for all that shit, you know that kid would not want to be there and be like, you know, wanting to wander off and like go explore the White House or some shit like that, or mess with like some vase that's in, you know, like in the room or some shit. Like, you know, that kid wants to just like be literally anywhere besides just standing bored, you know, while, you know, he's not the center of attention as a kid. Because, you know, because I know it has to be Elon's kid, because at one point Elon was like holding him, you know, so I just thought it was like genuinely weird as fuck. Like, why is there just some random ass kid when there's like a like White House desk fucking like conference thing? And Elon's just like kind of there on the side as like what, like some translator, some sort of like well, for what? I don't remember if he was like saying anything, to be honest. But I know Trump was. You know, I bet Elon was, honestly, now I think about it, but I'm honestly not too sure. I don't exactly remember. I just remembered, like, for some reason, that random ass kid just being there. It's like, why? Why is there just like a kid there? And it's just like, I need to protect my one and only last son. My last son that I ever have. I need to protect him for the virus. I need to put him as close as possible. You know, to all that is against the world. I must protect him from the work my virus. For I already lost one of my sons to the work my virus. He's probably thinking that it's like I must like, you know, keep him close away from anything that is awoke. So I'll just take him around everywhere in the White House. It could be like one of the weird tech bro kids that are, you know, messing around with our government right now too. Because such a little one, he could get away with being like, oh, I could just, pretend to be a little kid here. Elon will hold me or something. He already has a bunch of, practically kids, running shit. So, I mean, it would make sense to just have, literal children do it, too. I bet if that motherfucker could, get away with it, he straight up would, have, child labor. Elon totally would have, child slaves, 100%. What are you doing over there? Good little doge. Good for doge. Good one. There we go. Why are you such a cat? My dude, why are you such a cat? Hey, cat dog, get over here. Come here, boy. Popo, come here. Really? 2020, Boogie is elected as the next president of the United States. I don't want to think about that. Dude, his cabinet would probably at least have, as a way to try to get good with fucking Keemstar, would probably put Keemstar as press secretary or some shit. Fuck it, the Food and Health Administration would probably be ran by some sort of health inspector from McDonald's or some shit, a corporate health inspector of McDonald's, a quality check control guy, or something. Oh my god, bro, it would be bad. There I say maybe could potentially be worse than a full-on Republican. So I don't know. Fuck, dude. Shit. I mean, I suppose maybe it wouldn't necessarily be that. I don't know. I think Boogie's too stupid when it comes to certain elements of politics, especially geopolitics. So I think we might be fine enough there. They might just literally be status quo with that. But domestic affairs, I don't know. I would literally. Well, hey, your word's not mine. I think Oregon would fare off enough. I think we'll be okay enough, where we could just do our own thing. I don't think, Boogie's Republican enough to just be fuck the woke and stuff. Though he does kind of pander with that a little bit. So, I mean, I just don't think he cares enough to, make it, some focal point. But can he do a Trump and constantly lie all the time and be able to get away with it like he does? Because that's a little bit of a key factor there, I would say. Because if he can't, then no one's going to like him. Because because obviously he's going to want to do the, oh, woe is me, everyone's against me, blah, blah, blah bullshit. But I don't know if it's going to really actually work. He'd eat mayo on the debate stage like Ron DeSantis eats pudding. Oh my god. Don't remind me of the Mayo incident, bro. Him just shirtless too, going in on a full jar of mayonnaise raw. Bro. It haunts me. Dude, it haunts me too, man. I tried to kind of warn you about that. It's like I was like, man, I was just starting to get over it, but now you keep reminding me, and now it's just like coming back. Ugh. And the way that they also kept replaying it and doing slow-moing it and everything, they made it worse. Like, the DFF boys made it worse. The video itself is already bad enough, but oh my god. Oh, fuck, dude. That's just so gnarly, bro. I didn't even watch it fully. I listened to saw certain videos. Well, dude, it's bad. And also, it's just so gross. Like, I mean, like, I could get if someone likes mayo, but I hate mayo, honestly. But even for me, that is a crime against mayo. I just don't like it because I just don't like the taste of it. So it's just off-putting to me. But, like, oh my god. Like, some people, dude. Oh. Hey. Hey. No. What are you looking at me like that for? Get over here. Oh, my lord. The worst part was how gleeful Boogie looked while doing it. Like, a bratty kid would tell you what to do in his body, and they do it even more, so you have to, like, crack the textbook. Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, because you knows that it's, like, basically meant for the haters and shit like that. Or at least stop doing it around it. Yeah. It's like you have to, like, ignore it in order for it to stop. And, hey, I don't trust them on. And even then, sometimes they'll keep persisting just to see if you'll crack. With a little turd. Supposed to crack a textbook around their head. Well, I mean, hey, that works better too. Can I help you pop up? What's up? What's up, you big softball? Come here. Yeah. Your booty butt. Your booty butt. Goofy dog. Goofy dog, look at you. Goofy pop. What? I don't have anything for you. Now you're just being a brat. You're just a brat, bro. Good lord. Jeez Louise. What a little brat. You know, I really do understand. Want to know. I want to understand. What the fuck does this dog want? What does this poofball want from me? So for me, if it was the worst boogie moment you could think of. I don't know, to be honest, because so many of them are fucking terrible. I guess it's not necessarily, I guess it's not really necessarily like, you know, well, I guess it is a moment because it doesn't have to necessarily be from his videos. But like when he had his meltdown and the infamous like, "Hey, my mama kissing my tippers," you know, and that infinite moment, like that, like, you know, very infamous moment of his, you know, absurdity. I mean, I'll grant there's that, but just like him, like, you know, basically meltdown with nothing but just like theatrics and fucking like, you know, fucking just like, you know, pretending to like, you know, be this like mentally broken person, and also it's just like he's just a, you know, it was just such a piece of shit fuck move. Granted, there's, you know, that, you know, twisted the tipples moment, but uh Boogie loves being berated, but he hates having to take accountability. Exactly. It's gotta be. Oh yeah, dude. Speaking of his mom's grave, dude. Yep, that's it. That would definitely be it on there too. That's like some scumfuck thing, because he had some other person literally like walking around him doing this video while he's just there. It's so fucking scummy. Oh, that has to be it for sure. That at least top 3. What is he doing over there? Yeah, you. What are you doing? You irascible little thing. You irascible little bean. Oh shit! You know, honestly, you know what I really can't wait for? It's the upcoming gauntlet, because the patrons got a lot to, you know, have a little vote on it. And honestly, I was, you know, kind of hoping for the conspiracy gauntlet to Electric Boogaloo, but then Paul had to put the brain rot gauntlet out there in the ether, and I had to vote for the brain rot gauntlet. So the brain rot gauntlet is upon us, and I cannot wait. I can't wait for it because it's gonna be a variety of just bad, bro. Just like skibbity ass bullshit, fucking like Gen Alpha memes and shit. Oh my fucking god. I'm gonna have to like mentally prepare myself for that, honestly, in a way. Like, imagine one of your friends decided to film you by Barry and Bandit and put sad music over to monetize the person would be no longer a friend, would probably have a black eye. Well, the worst fuck thing is that Boogie, you know, orchestrated the whole thing in the first place when it came to that, you know, video with his, you know, mom's grave and shit. He brought his friend along to do it. Like, so that makes it even worse. It'd be one thing if, you know, like one of my friends did it behind my back or I noticed that and I'd be like, what the fuck? You know, but when it comes to like, but when it comes to like, you know, hey, record me and so we can monetize and upload or something, it's like that. Yeah, that's even more shitty, honestly, in a way. But for submissions, I want to know what qualifies as brain rot. Also, just like random. Yeah, I would say like, you know, like random ass AI videos that you might find on YouTube Shorts, stuff like that. Maybe like, you know, silly conspiracy videos too that, you know, are like on TikTok or like, you know, on YouTube Shorts, because you can find those occasionally. Like, you know, honestly, I would imagine like even something as like, you know, silly cat memes and shit like that may or may not qualify, but maybe as more of like, you know, oh look, he's so cute, you know, kind of brain rot, where it's just like, oh, fluffy puppies, rainbows and kitties, you know, versus like, brain rot, crap. Some videos of people get that were less reprehensible than Boogie in those videos. Damn. That must be saying something. I'm like a lively watcher, by the way. And Brad showed me some videos years back. I've kind of seen my fair share of random ass shit before too. Sometimes because friends would show, and sometimes because more curiosity gets the best of me sometimes, and I immediately regret it. And that's the worst thing too, when you get a little bit morbid curiosity and then you realize, oh God, what the fuck? Why did I watch this? That's when it becomes just like an oof moment. You're just like, damn. Well, that's gonna be in my head for quite some time. Son of a bitch. Oh. He's just so cute when he just takes his little naps. I like the equivalent of a doggo power nap is just like, like 10 minutes. Imagine saying about Boogie is that the fact that he's successful proves definitely that there's some justice in this world. Man, there's just like so many factors about the world that just shows there is no true proper justice. And it's like where will it come? Where will we finally get it? Because we sure shit ain't getting it right now. There ain't none at all in this world, and we need to get justice back in this world. I tell you what. Watch it be kind of funny if like some Trump person here just like there is justice in this world. It's called Trump bringing the salt back to its heels and taking out what's what about the good. I tell you what, brother, and I'm just gonna I just be sitting there like, oh my God, you little sad lost child. I hope this reverse surf the dimension Z40 is doing better than us. Yeah, because that is probably the Bernie timeline, and it definitely is better. It's definitely a way better timeline than what I got going on right now. Unfortunately, it could have been better, but sadly, we just have to kind of suck it up in this timeline, which is very terrible. But hey, what are you gonna do, right? Hillary, in her reptilian ways, fucking split the timeline, dude. We were robbed of a proper timeline. Like half of us, stuck in the same timeline. The other half, got sucked into the dimensional rift. It got sucked into the worst timeline. She brought us in with her, and this is what we got. Because we could have had something. We could have had something good, dude. That sure would have been nice. Would have get some good shit, man. But no, that's what we get. We just got sucked in because of damn, reptilian lizard queen psycho bitch. That is Hillary. I wonder what the dimension, in the fucking alternate universe looks like where, somehow Biden won in 2024. Because that would be the most wild ass fucking dimension, like Like, it would be the most wild alternate universe right there. I mean, for sure, I think. Because, like, it'd be literally like, how in the fuck? I would wonder what circumstances would, allow such a thing to happen, honestly. Because that would be quite, a random moment, in the, somehow in the rift in the timeline when that happens. President Bernie. Okay, I have now managed to increase lifespans by 1,000 years, held public executions for every insured CEO, and also have pardoned Luigi, and have colonized several moons. What else is there to do? Because we have also, cleaned all the oceans of all the plastics. We have reversed climate change by 20%, and now we have also gotten workers' rights all over the world. Not just in America. Oh my god, dude. That would be like the greatest timeline. The only thing would have to be, like criticizing. It's like, man, Bernie could have probably, done a little extra and did like, fucking like straight up like, a union congress instead of like, fucking, senator, Senate, or some shit. He could have like reformed the Constitution or something. You could have done like, maybe a public housing initiative or something like that. But hey, at least, he did some of this other stuff, I guess. Just important you did go further on like a few things. Even though he was like mega based on like everything else. But if the real risk is nothing, it's well, if we all do this, we won't have anything to do, and then we'll all be really bored. I mean, that would be kind of like, funny because like wouldn't you have more free time to like do different things. I mean, it's like that's kind of the amusing thing about it. Like, wouldn't it be the other way around? Because usually if you don't have time to do a lot of different stuff because like usually work takes time out of your day and shit like that, then it's like you're going to be bored just because you can't really do the things that you want to do because you don't have the time for it. And also, usually, when the time that you do have free is available, usually you're unable to do those things. So you end up just kind of, having to sit home and maybe play video games or whatever the fuck. And so, I don't know, like, in my mind, I kind of feel like, it'd be the other way around at least. So if that's the case, maybe that's more of an indictment on the people that think that they're all going to be bored as fuck. It's like, well, and for me, that'd be like, well, ain't my problem. Sounds like a you problem kind of thing. Deal with it. Oh, sleepy little brain. Ooh. 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 Nice. Shit. I honestly kind of wish that the main reason why nothing ever really gets done is just on the virtue of like, yeah, you won't have anything to do because you'll all be bored. I kind of wish it was over that. But alas, of course, it has to be because a bunch of rich fucking bastards, just just for power moves at this point, just because fuck you, that's why metrics. It's just like, oh yeah, well, we're just gonna like hold all the wealth now, and then just like you make sure just as a point, we make sure that these plebeians know their place. Because it really pretty much is like at that rate, like I can maybe get like even during like say fucking like at the height of like unions and shit like that, like where corporations that still kind of gaining like different funds and like profits and shit, even if it's like more exponential than like what the average worker's making. I can at least get like, well, at least they're like treating the workers fair and this and that, blah 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 blah. Even if they try to kind of skirt around the edges and all that bullshit, like at least maybe grant the idea of like, well, as long as they're not overtly breaking the law, they're just like even if they're skirting the edge of it, fine. They at least understand where the line is and where it isn't. But of course they couldn't. They couldn't just have that and just accept it. They had to like go even steps further and then even go extrajudicial extra legal means to do so, and would always constantly be doing that type of shit. And to the point where it's just like now it's most of it's so legalized to the point where they can just kind of do it straight bluntly right in their face, and there ain't much you can do about it. Especially now, more at this point more than ever. So that DI rollback is where people finally drew the line. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's also cool because it's like company has announced they're rolling up on diversity and inclusions. We're no longer purchasing from, oh, was that it? These companies have been using slave labor for decades, but that's finally what got y'all to go, wait a minute, these companies are fucked up. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, it always kind of comes down to there's no ethical consumption of capitalism. So it's just like, whatever, if like there's not going to be really inherently a way to like, really do a lot of ethical consumption within it, given those virtues. So it's like, really, what the fuck does it actually matter unless you want to go like self-sustaining and have your own like farm and like a couple pigs, chickens, shit like that. That's how you self-sustain or whatever. Like unless you're doing full-on self-sustaining, and even then you still have to take advantage of that system to a certain extent for different things like materials, tools, shit like that. I mean, it's just like what you can't really truly completely detach yourself from it as much as people would probably want to. That's gonna be like, nah, bull, keep your DI. They're great. No, they ain't. Yeah, of course they're not. It's a fucking Apple, and even then, it's probably been used by undocumented labor that is under the table where they're getting paid barely a fucking shit worth, and there's not much that they're getting out of it for the for the dollar that they're getting in comparison to a worker that would be an American citizen or under a work visa, and even then, people on the work visas would still get fucked too. I mean, I know for a fact when I was working for Safeway, one of them who was from Ethiopia, like he was actually being paid under fucking minimum wage in Oregon, and he was living with his uncle way out in Gresham and shit. And it's just like, and eventually he just said, "Fuck it, I'm not working here anymore." Literally on the virtue of cost because he wasn't getting paid enough, like the audit legally should be. And I was like, when I found out what is like, uh what that fucking like wage was for him, I was just like, what the fuck? And I like hit the union about it, and they were gonna talk to him, but I think that's when he was like, well, I already put my 2 weeks in, so it's not much of a point. But they were like, well, you can have a case if you want. It's like, nah, I just got another job somewhere. I'm just gonna deal with that and just kind of go from there. And he didn't really want to like go for the hassle. Yeah, you know what I mean? Which I understand, and honestly, I don't know if he would have the exact same, rights in that sense, as like we would. But if he's on a work visa, I imagine at least he would have like the bare minimum of the basic sense of the same rights. And it is Oregon too, so I imagine there at least has to be something there too as well that protects him. But he just didn't want to go with it. Well, that's the thing. So doing like vote with the dollar shit now. What's stopping them from doing to protest horrible practices companies? I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah. Like, there's other ways to take action, or at least, voice your grievance, without necessarily, doing some virtue signal about like, I ain't buying here anymore. It's like, well, I mean, the best thing you do is just try to avoid it when you can, but chances are you're probably buying something from the parent company of that said company, or that is like the broad, main conglomerate company where, it owns all these other subsidiary companies and shit that are out there. So it's just like, I mean, it's one of those things where you kind of like, well, good luck, not putting dollars in their pocket, because chances are you probably are. Somewhere down the line. Those people have no willpower whatsoever. Yeah, they don't. Americans having willpower? That's funny. That's amusing. Yeah, the idea that, like, at least in the US, can't really speak for the rest of the world, that, like, them being able to, like, have any willpower at all is definitely not possible. Not at all. Ironically enough, I'll even, like, validate it. I don't know if you saw the last Sunday Nuggets, on Tuesday, but straight up, like, they went on a side, tangent, looking at Zuckerberg at a Japanese McDonald's. And I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Dude, the prices for the McDonald's there versus here is actually fucking insane. And for what you can get for your bang for your buck there is also fucking insane. I don't think there's anything on the menu that's like more than $5 in Japan for McDonald's. For how much like a $20 meal, for like a Big Mac combo, whatever the fuck these days it is, McDonald's and shit these days, over there, bruh, over there it is like $4. I feel robbed off as is. Don't feel that fire, bro. I'm just saying, man. Dude, doesn't that kind of show that, like, how much greedflation and how much we're being price gouged and fucked over in this country? I mean, to put McDonald's aside, I mean, like, doesn't that kind of show how fucked we are? Like, because all these companies, overseas, when, they're like, here, oh, well, yeah, they're going to, like, price gouge the fuck out of us and then basically, like, rape us over the barrel, for, whatever reasons. Because, oh, inflation, oh, because no one wants to work or this and that, or whatever the fuck. And then, you get this bullshit where it's like you got pretty much the same goddamn thing, maybe some alterations in the menus or at the shop or whatever the fuck. And it's like fundamentally way cheaper in every way. It's like, bruh, the fuck? It's like, what the fuck? It's like, how does that make sense? Like, I mean, shouldn't, like the price, be, adjusted accordingly for, their menus, or they're also getting gouged? No, I guess that's only for us. Not only do we get, like, kind of like the muck, basically when it comes to a lot of these companies and shit, they fucking also rape us over the barrel when it comes to, like, how, much they want to charge us. It's ridiculous. Bullshit. Bruh, like, I'm not even gonna lie. If Trump did do, like, some policy where it's like, executive order, all companies, retail, like, fast food restaurants alike, they all have to adjust to international prices so we can compete properly with the international markets or whatever. He could do this weird free market, weird foo bullshit. I mean, whatever the fuck. He can find a way to justify it. And then, like, and then also we get, like, a little amendment to that where, like when it comes to fast food restaurants and other like restaurants that are like international and shit like that, then it's like, oi, then they have to also adjust their menus accordingly to be worldwide. So if there's like something that's German exclusive, guess what, Germans, fuck you. Now it's worldwide, bitch. Yeah, those Japanese, which by the way, the Japanese McDonald's menu is fucking goated. I'm actually fucking insulted that we don't get like half of their menu, because like half of it we could actually have here, but no, we are robbed of these pleasures of life, and so like, and they also have to be adjusted to the Japanese prices of said menu items, and like just because like if Trump did some shit like that, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I would actually be like, hey, there's a silver lining, you did do that. I'll be like, all right, it's cool. Actually, can't really argue against that. What are you doing? Damn, bruh, why you going tan on your booty? Buddy, hey. Hey. Why were you just going to town on yourself? Damn. Disgusting little bastard. It's always like America. These foreigners in their countries are horrible, and they want the worst for us. We can't let them force us anyway. Reality, other countries. Hi, we actually are super friendly. We have laws that benefit our people. And also, our food and music is amazing. Would you care to have some? And check out some of our garments, because they're actually kind of some dope-ass drip. It's just like, I mean, if anything, yeah, most of the time they're actually like chill and actually want to like kick it and hang. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, we're just robbed of like some basic pleasures, because mostly our government and unfortunately a lot of people have been conditioned into being racist chuckle fucking morons. Basically they've been robbed, and it's unfortunate. Some of them can help, some of them can't. This is a little random vibe change, but fuck it. Zuzu. Pop up. Why? Why are you? What's wrong with you? He's disgusting. He's just like going down on himself right now. It's just like, what the fuck, bro? Stop it. What is wrong with you? You disgusting little freak. He's just straight up like committed. Like, Jesus Christ. Well, can't stop him, so whatever. What a disturbed little individual. I wonder what like weird nightmare eldritch disturbances are in his head sometimes. Because there's probably some like whack shit going on in that head of his. Would you knock it off? Hey. Yeah, you. Damn. Hey, no. That perked his ears up. He's like, what the fuck? Oh God, stop for a second. That's basically the equivalent of showing your belly. Oh, dude, on that's another thing that fucking gets under my skin is that I keep seeing people post pictures from Aunt May Steele in response to any reproductive posting or post mentioning laws about them. I get it, don't get wrong, but that's basically the equivalent of showing your belly. Yeah, it really kind of is because I mean they agree with that. They're like, yeah, I actually do kind of want that a little bit. If we truly can get America set in the right path, maybe we could get that again. You know, kind of shit. Like, I mean, it's in a way, it's kind of like, I mean, don't tempt them. You know, it's like I kind, you know, if you're gonna like troll them or like do some shit like that, you gotta do it like with the gay Hitler method. Like when it comes to like trolling Nazis at their rallies and shit, you gotta like kind of fuck with them on their own game, but in a way that's like flamboyant as fuck. Like if there's like a neo-Nazi rally, get some like Hitler fucking field dress drip with like a bunch of fucking bling and flamboyant bullshit. Dye a fucking armband pink with like a little, like pink triangle instead of like fucking like a pink triangle and a red armband and then like a little swan server be like, hello boys, oh, my supporters every time. Ooh, look at you all. Ooh, I think I'll have you in bed. Ooh, like do some shit like that. You gotta fuck with them in their own game like that. You can't just be like, here's me a tail. You're like a Nazi. Fuck you. It's like you gotta like fuck with them a little bit. I said this before, but it's fetus, Jesus, and Christ. I know. I mean, for real. You know what? Even if if there's not really that much an ability of power to like do much at the moment, then at least have some fun with it. I'm not trying to be like, can't fucking wait to raise the kid the government has trained me to have to. Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's so. That's why I fucking hate libs, because they're just so whiny and bitchy, and they just don't want to actually put in a real like merit of effort to really do anything that could actually be beneficial or actually be actionable. They might do like a protest or a little rally and shit like that, which is all fine and good, but it's like, are we gonna have like a few extra steps, like to take, in accordance with this type of shit, because, that type of shit, like it's at a certain point where this type of shit definitely shouldn't be accepted. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not just as simple as like, oh, well, let's just protest it and, take it to the system. You kind of need a little bit more of a radical wing, and especially for libs, they kind of need to embrace that a little bit. Sure, they can have their little reservations about it, but that's for the radical wing to kind of self-police themselves for. It's not like it can't be done, because like I've been to a lot of different like protests and rallies and shit where they definitely have been pretty radical, and when it comes to its like organization, and hey, so like it's not impossible, to make sure that, it can still be very radical and civil disobedient without necessarily being like overtly violent or fucking crazy or whatever. I mean, shocker thing is, it's actually very possible to have that happen. So, they're actually going to be upset about Trump. It's more about the feeling of inconvenience that they have to do something beyond just sticking the box next to home. Oh, next to a name. Well, yeah, exactly. Like, they only want to do, like, a few little things here and there and shit, and, maybe not take, like, the extra step, to maybe be at least a little radical, or at least embrace the radicals within, the resistance, to Trump or whatever they want to call it. It's just like, I mean, because if they really want to have some resistance against fascism with how radical that ideology is in itself, you need, a wing that is radical to at least help combat against that. That's just the truth. If not, it tends to, prevail in a lot, in a lot of ways where it's very fucking sinister. So that's why the whole idea of you go so far left, you get your guns back kind of idea. To be fair though, even when I was a little lib, I was still already kind of at the pro gun stage, and I always kind of was like that anyway. But hey, for some, it takes a while. Shit, I bet after enough time, Rip City might even get to that route. I doubt it. And honestly, if he did, I would actually be a little surprised. That would be actually very fucking interesting if he did go down that route, because he's pretty fuck guns, I don't like him. Ugh. He doesn't even like it if I talk about him on streams when he's on here. But I think a lot of people, even who are not necessarily as pro-gun, are starting to kind of get a little bit more friendly with the idea about him now. I already have been pretty friendly about him anyway, so. Like Paul said, if the Dems really were afraid of Trump, firstly, they would have as much as a piss poor campaign. Secondly, when Trump won, they would have been sounding alarms. Yeah. I don't know if you saw Kyle's video, but, basically there was some quotes, from different Democratic leaders. So one of them literally says, we don't have a cohesive plan. We just all don't really agree on anything, so we're not really moving forward with anything. So, they just don't give a fuck. They just don't care. That's ultimately the problem. Maybe their base does, but is the base actually going to fucking break away and maybe at least, recognize that they're not, in their favor anymore? Because at this point, it just doesn't necessarily seem like it, at least right now at this conjuncture. Put a little key on this bad boy. Ooh, holy shit. Well, there's a lot in here. Holy damn. God damn. Okay, what the fuck do I... Okay, I had... Oh, there you are. The top up. Kinda need that. But the fact that Biden still underperformed in 2020, even with the pandemic going against Trump, and then Trump pulled in a reverse 2024 pretty handily, won the election. Dude, I remember his little Oval Office press conference thing. He was like, yeah, it's they tried to rig the election in 2020, but then, we won the 24 election. It was an election too big to rig. Too big to rig, folks. It was too big to rig. He literally said it was too big to rig. I was just like, oh my God, this guy. He is, dude, now that he's president, he's not going to give a fuck about saying if it was rigged or not, because he's going to just say it is, from 2020. And then he's going to say 24. It's they still tried to rig it, but they still lost because it was too big to rig, too big to rig. It's what the fuck, dude? Oh my God. It's he can't help himself, man. He just cannot help himself. Also, man, these elections rigged experiences from liberals have down pretty goddamn fast. I know. Probably because they understand and have a little bit more humility to recognize that they're probably fucked up. Are they going to admit it? No. Some of them maybe, but not a lot of them. And hopefully, at least the ones that will potentially admit it will eventually just kind of learn from their mistakes and get a little radical from it. But I guess who fucking knows? I guess we'll have to see. Let's see what the summer and the spring, comes to. Well, hello, Papa. How you doing, little puppy? Like, come on, Libs. Trump challenged the 2020 election results like 4 times. I thought it was like 8 times or some shit. Or at least there was like 8 different, like, lawsuits, and pretty much all of them, were struck down. But either way, the point being, bad with numbers, well, I don't really exactly remember either. It doesn't really matter. 4, 8, 12, 69, 3, 4, 2. 2. I mean, notice he does that sometimes, like, every now and then be like, it's like, sometimes we'll get like, it's, like, a 5 billion, 3 billion, like 2 billion, 2 billion. He'll do like 2. He doesn't say 2, he says 2. It's so weird, dude. 2. It sounds like he's trying to, like, mimic, like, a gong sound or something. It's just like, what? It's like, what are the Trumpisms, man? Like, what are his fucking mannerisms, bro? They're so weird. It's just so fucking weird, bro. It's like, showing you last election. Get that. Wow. So even Biden, like, both of them were pretty much like that. They're like, oh, well, Jack, better like next time, I guess, fat. What's she gonna do? That's just the way she goes sometimes there, fat. It's just the way she goes. Hey, look. 11-year-old pretty hair. I can smell her. She has a nice little strawberry shampoo conditioner. I want to get a little extra whiff. That guy's got, like, some, like, fucking weird ass, like, shark senses, when it comes to, like, sniffing out, like, hair, bro. That motherfucker's got, like, a weird, like, sniff sense. Where if he just, like, he just, like, he could pick it out, like, in a crowd. Because Jesus Christ, I can only imagine, man. Ooh. I mean, also, those are hoping that Trump will be bad enough for people to come going back to the fuck if that's probably going to work. Well, that, and also, like, they know that they can make money off of Trump anyway, because, like, a lot of the shareholders and a lot of people that buy and own the Democratic Party are also kind of in tandem with the Republicans too. And when it comes to different, policies, they're actually kind of in line with each other occasionally. Like, I mean, when it came to, the border bill between, like, Biden and Dems and the Republican Party, like, they were actually kind of, like, all in agreement up until Trump, decided to kind of steamroll and be like, no, you're not doing it. And the Republicans were like, oh, yes, Donnie, okay, we're not doing it. And then they didn't. But, if it wasn't for Trump intervening, like, it would have probably went through with the compromise bill, like, which is basically, just a slight expansion of Trump's, initial policies. But it, wasn't, under Trump's name. And that was the reason why he steamrolled in and stopped it, so he can do it, because he, he knew that Biden was going to get the credit for it. And, and some Republicans might feel a little at home with the Dems with some policies like that. Maybe start voting for Biden instead. Because they did what what Trump was, going to supposedly do, but, they actually, kind of beat him to the chase kind of thing. But no, like Trump, had to, like, swing his fucking authoritarian dick out and make sure that the Republicans fell in line with what he, said. Because he was basically like, I'm gonna ruin all your careers if you don't fucking do it. If you do it, you're fucking done. Bend the knee, and maybe I'll spare you. Bob, what you doing, Bobby? What you doing, little baby? So being child of divorced parents, one being physical abuser and the other one being emotional abuser. That's, yeah. That's basically, it's like, unfortunately, it's like kind of how it is. The American people, the abused child that's just kind of stuck in the middle, just kind of having to just deal with it, basically. It's like, yay. Gotta love it. Hey, when it's also ground up fine, it's so hard to pick up. Eh. Eh. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. There we go. Just saw something else. Do you think liberals or MAGA hats are more likely to admit when they're wrong? Because I've seen posts that people say that Trump loved and friends will return home after they have sprayed their home. Granted, because it personally affected them, however, except for the few people who got them liberal. On left defend violence actions, no matter how representative they got. I don't, at least, when it comes to Republicans or MAGA heads types, I mean, I think a lot of that just comes down to the fact that, comes down to what personally affects them. Because I was even kind of mentioning it earlier on stream today about, like, Trump farmer, like, who voted for him getting fucked over and now being against Trump and shit. Because, of Trump going against the Inflation Reduction Act, which, this, farmer directly benefited from. So it's just like, I don't know. Like, I would say, I guess maybe, in a way they're willing to if it directly affects them. And maybe if, like, you're, like, a family member or something like that, and, you got, like, a certain connection to the person, then maybe, in that case as well. But beyond that, I don't know. I mean, libs love facts, data, and all that bullshit and shit. You know what I mean? Shit and shit. But, so I think if you just, like, shove a bunch of different data and bullshit at them, I think they might be able to be, like, convinced or something. So I don't know. I mean, I have to kind of think about that one, honestly. But I don't know. From my experience, I do feel like, I mean, it's just, my own bias just because I've, talked to a lot of different conservative, people, whether they're, like, friends or family or coworkers. And I feel like just, talking with them just on the virtue of just chatting with them and at least, hearing them out, even if they say something raunchy or edgy or even a little racial or whatever the fuck, it's just like, I'm able to at least, see through that at least and maybe kind of convince them otherwise some way where they, at the end of it, they're like, oh okay, I kind of get what you mean. And also, I'll kind of bring up, later after that, be like, and also, probably not a good idea to maybe say this and this or whatever. Just for future heads up thing. I ain't gonna get all offended over it because that's why I mention it later, but just put that out there, kind of thing. It's a case of ignorance versus people who think they know it all. Yeah, ignorance versus arrogance. Ignorance, I think it's more forgiving. While arrogance is not so forgiving. No. Fox News had a segment a while back showing a family with a trans daughter and wasn't presented negative light. Now I don't know how one for the audience, but it proves on occasion that we're capable of having carrying out their side to agree. If you got a cross burner, that's going to be a bit more of a hurdle. Yeah, I remember what you're talking about, and honestly, especially considering that they're like a Christian family and all this other shit and stuff too, from what I remember, and even I think when their trans child or trans daughter was first initially coming out, they didn't really know how to process it. They're just like, well, let's learn about it. They literally just did the whole what a curious person especially a parent that cares about their child ought to do, and is learn about what that is, and be like, well, why does my son think they're a girl or whatever. That's probably what they looked up, and then that's just the first step, and they're like, oh, transgenderism, what's this? Then they'll probably go from there, and they now have this whole fucking leap of different information that they are looking at, and they're like, oh, this is like a whole thing. Well, let's go get this checked out, because I can't understand all this, so let's have a doctor help layman term this or something. They went to the doctors and shit, and probably went from there. And that's honestly, the best thing that, parents, especially, even if they might be conservative or Christian, could do for the kid, because it's like, well, and I even mentioned it before, it's like, well, God made my child the way they are, and that's how they are. Well, obviously that was the Lord's intentions, especially when it comes to the Lord works in mysterious ways bullshit. I mean, so, it's like one of those things where, to a Christian that at least kind of advocates their philosophy in a more proper way, at least in this case, at least on this specific kind of thing, I mean, they're actually abiding by it. I'll grant that. I don't know about everything else about their lives, at least when it comes to parents, but at least when it comes to raising their daughter, then at least they're abiding by the proper Christian edicts on that one. I'll grant that, because Jesus would do the same. That little bird do it. Oh, sleepy little bean. So cute when you're sleepy. Is there anything I say to Twitter left specifically? There's zero goddamn tact of these people, because they're just like, they're all basically just like obsessed with being online. They haven't actually had any real on the ground experience, so to speak, and actually being there with this type of shit. Some of them, there are kind of a few that are, But, a lot of them are just there to just, like, basically talk shit and, for all intents and purposes, for lack of better words, LARP. Like, I mean, even if they're, you got, like, some people that, will do activist stuff, like me, that have, like, little, random things that obviously are kind of, like, related to, like, certain, like, games or media and or other factors and shit, like these flags, for example. It's like, I mean, whatever. I mean, if they actually, walk the walk on top of talking the talk and having, different, mobility that, is related to, stuff like that, then who gives a fuck, It's like, I mean, what really ultimately matters is walking the walk and actually, doing the activism shit instead of, just like, sitting on your ass all goddamn day and shit like that. I mean, it seems like that might be the case for me, just, doing the streams that I do. But, I mean, I've been out there, on the protest line and stuff. I mean, shit. I've even been to jail for it, once. Wasn't really a fun experience. But it's one that happened nonetheless. Little douche. I'm gonna get one more little bowl over down here. And then get myself a little bit of ramen. Get myself some delicious ramen. I already whipped it up too. I was just like, ate a little bit after my little night walk with my doggo. Took a nap, woke up, and I was like, it's only midnight. Kind of, put it back on the stove and put it on like a little low heat, and then took it off it, let it chill for a little bit, and put it somewhere where he definitely couldn't reach it. And I'm just like, kind of want to reheat it again, and whip that bad boy up, because I was kind of half tempted to maybe put it in the fridge, but I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna want it later after this, and I do. Said before, we've had Jack. I'll see him respond and post to say I've left. Some family members claim my sister in the most recent Gaza strike. I'm not voting for Trump, and I cannot. Well, I cannot hang on. Yeah, I mean, I like Jake, but he kind of gets a little too libby sometimes of shit. It's like, dude, and I cannot, in good conscience, support Biden in this election. That Jake, you're so ignorant, lol. Don't you know that Trump? Don't you know that if Trump runs, all your family members will be redacted? Maybe do some research before you spout this ignorant stuff. Truly embarrassing. Yeah, he's like, I mean, I kind of get where you're about to go with that. Yeah, because he's just too much of a lib. And it's like, dude, you're not gonna like, help, like get to the cause of like, solidarity or reaching across the aisle, or at least help convince people to at least get closer to what you may potentially believe in by doing shit like that. Like, you're just gonna be pushing them away, and legit, that's kind of bullshit. I shouldn't be doing that because it doesn't help anything. Had to modify it because YouTube censors his fucking AIDS. I know, dude, his fucking AIDS. I know, bro. It's so fucking bullshit. Ooh. Nice. YouTube censors are fucking AIDS. How the fuck did I bounce out? Okay, well that works me. Alright, well, whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna get myself some of that ramen. I also put like a little brat in there, cut it up a little bit, and then put that in there. Put a bunch of bacon bits in my ramen, and ooh, I will say it is fire. And I bet honestly, some of that, moisture is like soaked up a lot more, so it's gonna be really nice and just like, ooh. I don't really like my ramen very like, soupy like. I kind of like it a little bit more thicky, nice and thick with like a sauce and more so than like a soup. It's like so fire. Okay, now I just tortured myself. I'm definitely gonna get some of that, but anyway. Well, let's go for now. Probably, pop around for tomorrow, but we'll see. Well, I'll see, what the weather permits at least, because I need to at least get some stuff done, but I don't know. I'll have to figure out what the weather's like. Because this weather is bunk. Ridiculous. But anyway, let's go for now, so it's not in. Toodaloo.